everyone. My name is Tatum, and I am here tonight for the Guardian Voice of the Missing weekly podcast. We have several cases tonight, some new cases, some updates on some old cases, stuff like that. So please let me know that you're here. I hope everybody is doing well. There have been some really good breaks in some of the cases I've been watching and everything out there. So feel free, if you're family, you can comment on anything, ask questions, show support to our loved ones that are out there with missing people. Good evening, Claire. Hope you are doing well. We will be showing your missing loved one, your brother, later on tonight in the podcast. Again, like I said, we're here tonight to share active missing persons cases, share resources for the families, and all the loved ones that are out there, and also, just help get these cases out there. You never know, if you share a flyer or share the podcast, there's someone out there that may have some information or have that little piece that kind of links some more information out there as well. Hi, Ellen. How are you? I hope you're doing good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dig in here. And this is a case that I'm trying to get some more visual for the family of their missing loved one out there a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and reshare Rochelle Hammond, who has been missing for 4 years, 9 months. She is missing out of Mescal, Colorado on August 15th of 2019. Age 30 at the time of her disappearance. She's now 35. Her height is 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She is 5'6", 120 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. I guess I just said that. Sorry, guys. It's been a crazy day. She has her septum pierced with a silver circular barbells. She has multiple tattoos, as you can see in those pictures: a star on her left arm, skull on her right hand, a cat with a bong on her shoulder, live like a lion on her upper chest, a star behind her ear, stars on the inside of her forearms, and she has others. She does suffer from bipolar and schizophrenia. She is prescribed medications which were left behind. Rochelle is a Cherokee descendant. She was last seen wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, and black Nike shoes, walking away from her home in Mescal, Colorado on August 15th of 2019 around 11:30 a.m. She had only been living in that area for about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance and previously lived in Columbus, Ohio area. All of her belongings, including her ID, phone, medication, car, dog, computer, and tools, were all left behind, and she may be living homeless. Family does believe that she did not leave on her own accord and may be a victim of human trafficking. Loved ones are concerned for her safety and her welfare. There have been tips that she may be in California or Massachusetts. However, there has been little movement in her case. If you have any information regarding Michelle's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the El Paso County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608. I do need to get back with family on that because they did update me last week, and I haven't had a chance to let them tell me that. I don't know if there's a new area or a new tip that has her not missing out of that area. But as of right now, that's what NamUs has, so I'm going to keep it at that. Willoughby Lives, you are most welcome. I am sharing Ryan tonight as well. I have shared Ryan multiple times, and we'll continue to help out his loved ones, especially his mom. I know that she is a huge advocate on his case, trying to get information out there. Hi, Allison. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Missing Persons Alert. They have the Missing Persons Alert Facebook US group. They also have platforms in all 50 states, and they have a page. They also have a page in Puerto Rico. So anytime that I send flyers out, my podcast goes clear across there. I'm an admin for them. Allison is an amazing advocate. She definitely gets your guys' families' information out there for you guys. So just so you know, anything that Allison shares, I share. We do share this stuff nationwide. We always want people to always look at the fact that just because someone goes missing in California doesn't mean that they can't be in New York. So you just never know with these cases on what is really going on. But also the other fact that I really want to tell people is the fact of you never know who you're going to share to and that person's going to share to that might have information or know something that you don't know, and they may be in a different state. You just never know. So really promoting your guys' cases out there. If your loved ones that are missing, just know that there are some really great advocates that are out here working very, very hard to help you guys get that information out there. Anybody that wants me to do a flyer or get their loved one on the podcast, please feel free to contact me. I do not charge for flyers or anything like that. I don't charge the families for that. So just so you guys know, there are lots of opportunities out there. There are some really good platforms out there. There's a lot of good advocates that are out there that want to help the families of the missing. And also just to give the family support as well. Not only give that information out, but we want to support you. We want you to know that you're not alone in this time in the things that are going on in your life. So never feel like you're alone. For me personally, it's never a bother if someone reaches out to me and you just, want to talk to somebody or have someone, hear your story or what's going on. So just know that you guys are never alone. This next case I came across is Brandy Gay Noble. She's been missing for 22 years and 3 months. She's missing out of Amarillo, Texas on March 1st, 2002. She was 15 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 37, 5'3", 100 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She does use the nicknames BG, Boo Boo, and Little Brandy. Brandy was not reporting missing for 6 months, and since she had been seen or heard from. Authorities had tips that Brandy was in Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, or still in Texas. However, none of that information has ever been confirmed. Foul play is suspected in her case due to her being involved with unspecific dangerous activities prior to her missing. There isn't a whole lot out there on her case. If you have any information regarding Brandy's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Amarillo, Texas Police Department at 806-378-3038. Her case is also in NamUs. I really, try to tell families and stuff, getting your missing persons information into the NamUs database is really good. There's a lot of advocates that are out there. They're looking at that database. You're able to send stuff to the database, able to get updates on the database. I know that I've had law enforcement use my flyers on the database. I've seen multiple different flyers that people have created that are out there on the database, which I think is really good. It just gives more information. So I would definitely talk to the detectives or the law enforcement that's working on that. But also you can push to get them in there as well. This next case is Caleb Cordaro Wells. He's been missing for 2 years and 11 months out of Atlanta, Georgia. He was 31 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 34. 5'10", 185 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. He does have multiple tattoos on his arms and a tattoo on his face. Those are the pictures that I do have of them. He does use the name Corey. Caleb was reported last seen at Atlanta, Georgia airport on a plane that was headed to California. He has not been seen or heard from since. He was last known at the address in Summersville, Georgia, and is from Cedartown, Georgia. It has never been confirmed if he made it to the hotel in Los Angeles County, California. There is very little out there on his case. If you have any information regarding Caleb's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Chattahoochee County, Georgia Sheriff's Department at 706-857-3411. This next case I have shared several times on the podcast, and I've got the flyer out there. I have gotten it updated. This is Andrew in France. He is missing out of Kansas City, Missouri on April 20th, 2023. He was 31 at the time of his disappearance. He is now 32. 5'11", 175 pounds, blonde hair, and blue eyes. So at the time of his disappearance, he had several tattoos, some on both arms. I do have some pictures. A neck tattoo with a ram, which covers his neck. As you guys can see in that picture of that ram on his neck is very, very descriptive. It would definitely be something, if you saw him, you would recognize that tattoo. So Andrew had left the home that he was staying in, Sedalia, Missouri, heading to Excelsior Springs, Missouri, in his white 2019 Ford Escape SUV with Florida license plate AV13NF. Law enforcement had reported that he got a traffic citation from Kansas City, Missouri Police Department on April 20th of 2023 at 4:26 p.m. That is definitely why in NamUs they have him out missing from the Kansas City, Missouri area, although he was staying in the Sedalia, Missouri area at the time, but he is also has affiliation there in Excelsior Springs. So I just kind of want to clarify that a little bit. Sometimes we get them missing from certain areas. That could be the last place that law enforcement had seen them, or whatever. So it's still good information out there. So his vehicle was later found at the right way, and it had been towed from KFC on April 24th of 2023 in Excelsior Springs. Like I said, he does have ties to Excelsior Springs, Sedalia, and the Kansas City area. He was last seen wearing, when he was seen by law enforcement, in blue jeans, a blue t-shirt with an American flag, dark gray Skechers shoes, and a ball cap. Andrew had daily contact with loved ones. He has had no activity on social media or his EBT card. There is a $1,600 reward for any information that will lead to his whereabouts. If you have any information regarding Andrew's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Excelsior Springs, Missouri Police Department at 816-630-2000. Now, before that, on the flyer, if you see some of the old flyers, Sedalia Police Department was working on his case. However, that case has been turned over to Excelsior Springs, Missouri Police Department. Nancy, you are most welcome. Florida plate, rental car, or from Florida. So I do know about Andrew's plate. So that was a car that he is buying, paying, payments on and everything. So I believe that's kind of why the Florida plate is on there, from my understanding. Now, I have gotten information that car no longer exists because it was smashed. And that, just to me raises a lot of questions in his case. Why would the lien company not get his car or his family or anything like that? And who gave permission for that vehicle to be smashed? Because there could be evidence in that car. There could be a lot of stuff in that car. So the car, I think, was a real big key piece in his missing persons case. So it had Florida plates on it. Not really sure why. I don't know. I believe maybe he just recently purchased it, or whatever. I'm not for sure on that, but I definitely can try to see. Smash what? So it was towed to a tow yard, and then it was demolished, which makes no sense to me. I've never heard really in cases of missing persons why it would not be turned over. And if he did have a lien holder on that car, it should have returned back to the lien company. But somewhere in there, they destroyed his car. And that is what was told to family. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Thanks, Rivera, for coming. Yes, very strange. I agree. Very, very strange on why that would happen. Doesn't make sense to me. All right, the next case, we're going to move on to Erin Michelle Davis. She's been missing for 21 years, 11 months, and 14 days. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to her. Okay. So in her case, she went missing on June 22nd of 2002. She was 24 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 46. 5'2", 130 pounds. She had blonde strawberry hair and brown eyes. She does have a rose tattoo on her left shoulder. She may use the name Erin Hoover Davis. She was last seen when her sister-in-law had dropped her off at home on Harry Street in Nicholson, Mississippi. When her sister-in-law returned the next day, she found that her door was open with her two children, who were the ages of 2 and 4, were home alone. Erin was nowhere to be found. She was also 7 months pregnant at the time of her disappearance, and she also left behind her purse and other belongings. In 2019, additional information came in about in her case, and a search with a cadaver dog in an area off of Henley Field McNeil Road near a creek. Despite the dog hitting on an area on 2 different occasions, about 75 feet apart, no remains were found. If you have any information regarding Erin's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Passoon, Mississippi Police Department at 601-798-7411. And I definitely do believe that there's someone out there always that knows something about these cases. For whatever reason, people say silent. It just makes no sense to me. You are most welcome, Rivera. Hi, Carly. Glad that you are here and watching. We will get your loved one's case on here in just a few as well. I love that families are, here and everything. And like I always tell people, please be very respectful for the comments that you make, because we do have loved ones out here that do hear, they do see, and just be careful and mindful of what you are saying. Even when their flyers are shared, please be mindful of the families. A lot of these families have been searching for their missing loved ones, like, you guys have just seen. We have anybody missing from a couple years to 21 years to 22 years. The toll that it takes on these families is just incredible. But the one thing that I will say about every family that I have met, that I work with, and everything, you guys have so much strength and so much compassion even for other people when you're going through your own, tragic, events and things that are going on. So I definitely just want you guys to know that, you guys are such an inspiration to a lot of us of how hard you work on your missing loved ones cases. The next case, and I will tell you guys, we are sharing a lot of cases out of Wisconsin tonight. So this is Heather L. Archer. She went missing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin on July 8th, 2016. She is 27 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 35, 5'6", 150 to 160 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. She does have her upper lip and ears are pierced. She has a scar on her arm. She has a tattoo of a butterfly with a tribal design on her lower back and possibly floral pattern on her lower back. Heather may use the last name Moore. She was last seen in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on July 8th, 2016. She's known to frequent the areas of 20th and Greenfield Avenue and 10th and Lincoln Avenue. She may have traveled on foot or by bus. She has never been seen or heard from again. There are very little details on her case. If you have any information regarding Heather's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department, Sensitive Crimes Division at 414-935-7405. One thing, and Claire, I know you're out there and you're listening, and I would like to see if you will share. So Wisconsin has started a new platform out there for their missing. They are getting a lot of cases out there on there. Claire, I don't know if you'd be willing to share that platform out here in the comments so other families can see that, to see what Wisconsin is doing. I know that especially in Milwaukee, we have some families out there that are just huge voices and pushing their families, other families' cases in Milwaukee to get something going and to get their voice heard. So when I heard the fact that they have started another database out there or another resource out there to get cases out there, I was happy to hear that. Because I do believe that not just in Milwaukee, these families that are struggling to get, the feeling that people really are caring about their cases, give a shit about their cases, out there, that finally to see that they are, doing some movement on those cases and trying to get other resources out there. So it does make me feel a little bit better. The more you guys, are out there and in the face, and you have advocates that are fighting again, keeping that voice out there for these missing people. You have to keep this voice out there. Do not give up. If you feel like you're tiring out or wearing out, reach out. Reach out to Allison on Missing Persons, alerts. Reach out to me at Guardian Voice. Sharon Parker is another really good advocate. We've got the Missing Truth. Um, Katrina, she has a sister that is missing, but she advocates as well for missing persons. She does a podcast. I not only do these weekly podcasts, I'm willing to do podcasts with families as well and loved ones as well that's missing, to just, specifically for their cases. Some of these cases in some of these areas, I don't know, the stuff that's coming out, it's really suspicious. It seems like some of these cases are connected. We got people that are missing maybe at different times, maybe at different locations, but they're connected all to the same people. Keeping those stories out there. I mean, I just cannot say enough. Don't give up hope that, you'll be able to find them. Definitely bring home Brenda Sicca. Yes, most definitely. Hi, Ryan's mom. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Yep. And I will tell you, Alex's family is a huge keeping in the face. Ryan's mom, very much in the face of law enforcement, the public. You guys are just amazing on how hard you search for your loved ones. Here's that website that the Milwaukee, Wisconsin has put up now. It is a new website, and from my understanding, they are still working on that and getting cases on that. Oh, never mind. Okay, so if you have a missing person in Milwaukee, this is the new email for you to contact the detectives and stuff. It actually, from my understanding, from what I've been told, that this email goes to everyone in that sensitive crimes department. Everybody will see it. So it's a better communication. So you know that you're detective and everything. And that is how they want you guys to contact them. Thank you, Rivera and Ellen. Okay. I will try to pull this up. This is what came up when Claire did this. She's trying for you guys. We will definitely try to get it posted out there on Guardian as well. I suggest any of you guys that have family websites of missing persons in the Milwaukee area, I would put them on your family pages as well. Because you never know, if someone that doesn't feel comfortable talking to law enforcement, they may hit up that email. This next case is a case that someone came to me, wanted me to cover. This is Jesse Lee Farber. I had seen his case previously before I had done this. So I have been talking to loved ones. He has been missing for 8 years and 10 months. So I have 2 slides on him because he does have multiple tattoos, and I want you guys to really be able to see the tattoos on him. So Jesse went missing from Tamaqua, Pennsylvania on August 11th, 2015. He was 29 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 38, 5'6", 130 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. So at the time of his disappearance, he does have a scar on both of his cheeks from a dog bite and a scar on his forehead. He has a chipped tooth. He has multiple tattoos, including but not limited to a fox on his left upper arm, on his shoulder, a black star wreath above Roman numerals 2, 3, and 4 on the inside of his left arm, a small, I know I'm not going to say it right, Anka symbol, which is that cross-looking symbol, which is on his left forearm, a skull with a stake coming out of it on his right upper arm, at the shoulder, a colorful dragon skull in the words in black Gothic script. On his upper back, a bear claw print on his right side of his chest, a stick figure drawing in a keyhole shape on the left side of his rib cage, showing a scene from a man hanging on a tree. Jesse may go by the name Jesse Rex, He was last known to be wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, a black t-shirt, a light brown bibbed overalls, and either work boots, or sneakers while carrying a camouflage print backpack. A man had reported him at 7:20 p.m. walking out of town, heading south on Hunter Street towards a trail that leads west into coal fields. At 9:09, he did call his girlfriend frantic and said that several coyotes had chased him up a tree and that he was on Sharp Mountain, which is west of Tamaka High School. He said that his battery was going dead on his phone, to please come help and to bring guns. The call was disconnected and he did not answer after that, despite her trying to call him. His girlfriend and her brother at the time went to look for him at Sharp Mountain with no results, notified the police, who did their own search with no results. In December of 2016, a hunter found sweatpants in a tree on a steep mountainside near the top of Sharp Mountain, and his backpack was higher up in the same tree. The tree was described, though, as a small, skinny one, and there was taller trees that definitely would have been more suitable for him to climb up. It was miles from where he said that he was, and it was next to coal ridge of cliffs, shafts that were up to 140 feet deep and hidden tunnels. Law enforcement is not sure he was. Law enforcement was not sure what he was hiding from. It is not normal for coyote behavior to chase a person up in the tree. There are theories that he may have had a drug-induced hallucination, or he was being chased by coyotes, which could be members of a gang. Loved ones do believe the gang theory and that his belongings were planted to mislead the investigation. If you have any information regarding Jesse's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Tamaka, Pennsylvania Police Department at 570-568-5000. And let me get that other one up there for you guys to take a look at his other tattoos at a more closer thing. So you do see on that shoulder there, that fox. I did go ahead and put on what it looks like because you don't get to see the whole clear picture. But as you can see, he definitely, again, is another one of those people that have these tattoos that are very noticeable. You know, if you saw him, you would notice these tattoos that he has. And Claire's just clarifying that is the MPD missing at Milwaukee.gov. That is the email that they are wanting you to email if you have a missing person there in the Milwaukee area. Yeah, I am covering a lot of young men here tonight. Like I said, doing this and seeing these cases that are out there, there's a lot of missing men out there, you know, and I think sometimes, you know, people get this misconception that, you know, men also too can be trafficked. They also can be kidnapped. They also can, you know, disappear, not on their own accord. You know, there's a lot of similarities to some of these cases of them going missing. And, you know, I just, you know, I try to, even across the board of, you know, everybody and anybody that I can, you know, cover. So the next case, Claire, I am going to go ahead and show your brother. So Alexander Michael Crunk, he has been missing for 3 years and 11 months. He also, too, was missing out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on July 20th of 2020. He was 33 years at the time of his disappearance. He would now be 37. 6 foot, 175 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. He does have a scar on his stomach. He does use the name Alex. He does struggle with mental health issues and had some delusions that had been increasing over time. So he had been last seen or had been staying in a residence in the 1900 block of West Finn Place in Milwaukee. His associates stated that he wanted to move to Mexico. However, Alex has no passport or financial resources to move out of state or out of country. Also, there has been no proof that he's ever left the country or even Milwaukee. Alex's driver's license has been found. There has been no proof that he got on a plane, train, or a bus. They did say that he had been dating a Hispanic woman who spoke very little English, but she's never been found or came forward since his disappearance. Alex has lived in Wisconsin his entire life. He is not known to travel. There's been, again, no evidence that is showing anywhere that he has left the country. Foul play is suspected in Alex's case. If you have any information regarding Alex's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department, District 1, 414-933-4444. Okay, I didn't bring that out. I didn't know if you wanted me to release that information that the Hispanic woman, yes, indeed, has been located. And yeah, I will get his flyer of as well. So that's one thing to let you guys know. I do know a lot about a lot of these cases, but if that information needs to be held back, I'm going to hold that back. So Clara is saying that it is okay that we are releasing the fact that Hispanic woman has been found and identified and in his case. So just to let you know. And again, it's sensitive crimes. Like I said, they have changed some stuff around. We will get Alex's flyer update. So if you have any information, call the 414-935-7405. I did throw Alex out here because I'm covering a lot of Wisconsin cases. I just covered him not too long ago, but I wanted to get his case most definitely out there again. This next case that I want to share with you guys is Dana Bruce. Dana Bruce, I will never stop sharing her case. I've made that very evident. I will continue to share Dana Bruce's case. I will continue to be a voice for her children, and I will continue to be a voice for her loved ones that are looking for her. Dana has been missing for 15 years, 7 months. 15 years. You know, my gosh. It's a long time. Her children, most definitely, out of anybody, deserve to know what happened to their mother. So she is missing out of Sedalia, Missouri on October 4th of 2008. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 38 years old. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, and she has green and hazel eyes. She is also blind in her left eye. She has both of her ears pierced. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine, a staple scar on her right shoulder. She does have that tattoo that you see on her upper left arm of a teddy bear with wings and a banner with a name that says Dylan. She was last seen wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel on the front that was in silver lettering, blue jeans, leaving her children's babysitter home where she had left them because she went out to celebrate at Malone's Bar on Main Street because they're having an anniversary party. And she was out with a young man that had been driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier in the night. So her and him had went back to the babysitter's house around 11:30 p.m. for her to give the babysitter more money so the babysitter would keep her for the night because she was enjoying her one time that she had been out and away from her children as a single mom, and to have a night out, which 100% she deserves. I know other people have other opinions on that, which I am not going to share because I have no... I don't support people that want to blame the victims of the missing. You know, the people that are missing, they're victims. Plain and simple. So to clarify that, Dana was not a person that was out all the time. That just wasn't her. She was a devoted mother to her children. So she did go out that night, you know, but she left them in the care of people that she trusted and wanted to be out later. And that's fine. You know, she deserved that right. Police have identified the man that she had been seen with that night. He was a contractor there in the Sedalia area, and he had traveled to Atlanta, Georgia. Police did question him after he was arrested on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. He has never been named publicly, but the police are calling him a person of interest. He has said that Dana and him had parted ways after they had left the bar, and he had never seen her again. So one thing in Dana's case too, she had left behind all of her belongings. She does not have bank accounts. She does not have credit cards. She does not have a phone. She didn't have a vehicle. She had just signed a lease that day for a new place for her and her children to live. It is not known if she had her ID on her. Again, she was a devoted mother who would never leave or abandon her children. There is a reward being offered for information. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-826-8100. I do want to continue to share a little bit more on Dana's case. Again, here's a situation. The guy from Georgia, he is known, the name is known who he is. Also, the fact that there are at least 7 individuals that are close to Dana that have information on her case. They do know what happened to Dana that night. They do know. Now, I will address some of that issue out there. There are people among that group that are talking about what really happened to Dana. There are people that know. There are people that have tried to give information, have given information out there on Dana's being missing. The fact of the matter, like I shared last week, there was a book out of these 7 individuals and other associates of them that was written and taken out of the library on how to have a body disappear. Sounds a little suspicious. You know, why would you get a book to find out how you can get rid of a body and then all of a sudden someone that's close to you disappears? That is for a fact that is out there, amongst other stuff that is out there. Everybody in this group of 7 people, I know how people really love the word snitch. Well, you better be checking the people that you're looking at, the people that you're around, because if people don't know what snitching is, that's called you're talking about stuff that you think that is secret. Well, the stuff that's out on Dana's case is not a secret. It is out in the public. It's just a matter of where you're going to look. Also, it's the fact of the matter that there were people that were there that night that happened to know what happened to her. She left that night with 2 male individuals that are known to the Sedalia area. Very well-known individuals from the Sedalia area. The name of the guy in Atlanta, that name is known. These 7 individuals, amongst other people that know them, all your names are known. You are very well known. And again, it's time because things are coming to a head in Dana's case. People are not going to stop talking about Dana. They're going to continue to share Dana's story. And it's only a matter of time before the truth comes out, really what happened. So that whole snitching stuff doesn't work with me. It doesn't work with me in Dana's case. It doesn't work with me in Alex's case. It doesn't work with me in Ryan's case. It doesn't work with me in Brenda's case, Andrew's, Caleb's, anybody's cases that I ever share. Here's the deal. I want people to realize, how would you feel if your missing loved one was out there and you didn't know, and there's people that you know are connected, people that you know what happened? How would you feel? How would you feel knowing that your loved one is out there and you have no idea what happened to him? Absolutely none. Or you know that there was foul play in those cases, or you know that they've been human trafficked, or you know that they've been kidnapped. How would you feel? And I am going to share something from a family member that wanted me to share, and I have shared on my podcast to kind of give an idea of what these families are really truly going through and their loved ones. It's time to stop. If you are so tough and you are just so cruel and everything, then own up to what you've done. Be a man, be a woman, be whatever you are out there. If you're tough, as tough as you think you are, you're really not tough enough if you can't own up to what you've done to somebody that did not deserve to disappear, to be murdered, to be taken against their will, to be thrown into sex trafficking and have cruel and horrible things done to them, to be forced to be a drug mule or any of that stuff. So if you think you're really tough, I guarantee there's people out there that are tougher. And all the truths in these cases will eventually come out. It's time for people to own up for what they have done in these cases, to give the families of the loved one, especially the children. In a lot of these cases, These people have children, and they never would have left their children, ever, ever left their children. That is huge in adult cases when children are involved. They would never leave their kids. Put that in your mind. Think about it. If you are a parent and you have done something to somebody and you have children, think about how would you feel knowing that someone took your child, someone took your loved one, someone took your parent. How would you feel? Could you live with yourself knowing this information? You could be anonymous on every one of these cases, every one of them. Like with Milwaukee, you could send an email. You could be anonymous. Stop being so chicken shit and own up to what you've done in these cases. It is time to come forward and tell the truth, because I'm telling you, in these cases, the truth's going to come out. And if you're just an associate and you know just because you heard, I would get in front of it, because prison is not a fun place to be. Not to mention that there's cases that people are facing the death penalty on that has recently came out that I have covered. They're facing the death penalty. It is not fair that these people are not, of the missing, have not been allowed the opportunity to watch their children grow, to be with their families, to have holidays, while other people are walking around day in and day out, living their best life, I guess, while everybody else is out here suffering. For what? How is someone's life worth the cost of ending it? It makes no sense. Period. So that's my soapbox for right now on that. So I just want people to be clear. People are going to continue to talk about every one of these cases. We're not going to stop talking about it. We're not going to stop sharing them. We're not going to stop being the voice. We're not going to stop supporting the families that are out there. So I just want to make sure that's clear for the people that are watching my podcast, and I know are watching my podcast, to see what I'm going to come out with and say. I'm just letting you know. I'm here. I'm going to stay here. The advocates that I work with are doing the same, and I can guarantee you that these families are not going to stop looking for their loved ones. They're just not. Period. Sorry, guys. It has been a long week working with families and everything. You are most welcome. They are victims. I don't care if people are drug addicts. I don't care if they have mental health. I don't care if they got a criminal background. I don't care about all that. They're human beings. They have a right to be found. They have a right to live. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because a lot of people don't like some of the cases that I share. I don't care. They're humans. They're human beings. Hashtag TED Talk. I've never watched TED Talk, but I sure do hear a lot about him. So definitely. It's funny that you say Mama Bear, Claire, because I am wearing my Mama Bear shirt tonight. So just to let you guys know, yeah, I do get very protective, over these families, over these missing persons cases. I'm tired of people, scamming the families, telling them horrible things that they definitely, most certainly should not have to go through. They should not have to hear these things. I want every family member to know that your loved one matters, and not just to you guys. They matter to the advocates out there. They matter to other families. They matter to me. I want them to be found. I want you guys to have closure, no matter what that closure is. You deserve that. And so do your loved ones. They deserve their story to be heard. This next case is another case out of Milwaukee. Hans Nitzels, he's been missing for 3 months and 29 days out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He went missing on February 8th of 2024. He's 30 years old, 5'8", 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He may wear glasses or have a beard. He may be experiencing cognitive issues, including memory loss and concentration issues prior to his disappearance. He was last seen wearing a dark winter coat, leaving Milwaukee Central Library, heading back to the Milwaukee Rescue Mission, located at 830 North 19th Street, where he'd been staying. he had been using a phone, but it did not have service without Wi-Fi, and he was constantly contacting his loved ones. Here's another case, always talking to his loved ones, but just suddenly disappeared. He has not been seen or heard from since. Loved ones are very much concerned about his safety and his well-being. If you have any information regarding Hans's disappearance or his whereabouts, please call Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department, District 3, 414-935-7233. Or you guys, I would say you can also use that email and that new webpage that is also. Another population I just want to share is homeless people. Not everybody chooses to be homeless. And even if they do choose to be homeless, a lot of homeless people still have major contact with their loved ones. They are still humans. They are still human beings. They still deserve to be heard, and they still deserve to be found. So I want to share with you guys real quick on a case that I covered for a long time. Unfortunately, they were found deceased. And this was something that his loved one shared underneath a flyer of another missing person case that I had been covering. So I just titled it Words from a Missing Person's Loved One. It is so sad to see that this many loved ones are missing. So much pain and anguish comes from family members behind those faces. For each of us, those faces are so much more than a father, a son, a daughter, a friend, etc. We see memories and laughter and fear of what the future holds for us and the answer that awaits us. A heartache that even ourselves do not understand because it is such an unknown situation. The amount of tears cried over each one of these could cover the earth thousands of times. The prayers that we have prayed and the hope that desperately hold on to. It is a group that you do not want to belong to and beg every day to get an answer so you can finally leave. I will always happy when someone finally gets to exit, but I have a little anger that I'm still left out in a place where I'm holding on to nothingness and awaiting for my light, my love, my soulmate, my husband. I will tell you that even though her husband has been located and found, she still supports missing families. She still shares missing families, missing loved ones. She still advocates for you guys. But when she said that and had shared that, I think it really, truly, from me just working with families of the missing, it really says a lot. And for anybody that has information out there to hear that statement, to hear those words, I hope it'll make you think about coming forward with the information that you do have. Yep, definitely. Claire, that's a good thing to point out, making sure that you give the case number. The families that are out there, I always put the case number. If they're a NamUs, I also put the NamUs number out there. Once in a while, I'll get the NCIC number as well. It's always good because it does not matter how many times you can call in there. It's just better to have a case number. It makes it easier for law enforcement to find it. But definitely, the case numbers are important, you guys, definitely. And I put them on every one of my flyers. A common thread amongst the men in Milwaukee is they suffer from mental health, addiction, or homelessness. Thank you for pointing that out. It's true. Pretty much every case that I am sharing out of Milwaukee, especially these males, mental health issues, substance abuse issues, homelessness issues. Some of them have similar people connected in their cases. Some of them, they frequent the same areas. So definitely, thank you very, very, very much for pointing that out, especially the Milwaukee cases. But there are cases out there too that different persons have went missing, and there is connections to those cases, whether it's places they frequent, especially the homeless. The homeless a lot of times will frequent around the same parks, the same mission, maybe the same convenience stores, different businesses and stuff like that. I would cover anything any of those places. Maybe they've been to the same treatment as somebody, or going to the same methadone clinic, because there are a lot of people out there, that go to the methadone clinics. All these places are places you got to think about, putting them out there. Definitely, flooding areas that that they have been, parks, or the missions, going to those missions. Now, I will tell you, sometimes some of the rescue missions cannot give out information, but it doesn't. But I haven't heard of one that won't take a flyer, where you can go up there, take a flyer, show the flyer. I want you guys always to be safe. Sometimes going into the areas with the homeless, or some of the more areas that are a little bit more dangerous, please do not ever go alone. If you're just determined to get down there, please do not go alone. Do not go at night. Please protect yourself, because you just don't know who's down there, what's going on down there at all. So just to let you guys know, any population, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you do for a living. It doesn't matter to me. All I want to do is help get you located and back to where you need to be and safe. This next case is Chandra Valletta Jennings. She's been missing for 21 years and 2 months. She went missing out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on April 28th of 2023. She's 36 years old. At the time of her disappearance, she's now 57. She was between 5'3" and 5'4", 130 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She does wear glasses and has both of her ears pierced. She may use the name Shannon Jennings. She was last seen wearing a blue shirt, black pants at a house on the south side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on April 28th of 2003. At the time of her disappearance, she was known to frequent the 3700 and the 3800 blocks of Northport Washington Road and the 42nd and Capitol area of the city. She has not been seen or heard from again. There is very, very little information on her case. Now, her case is showing to call the Milwaukee. If you have any information regarding her disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department Sensitive Crime Division at 414-935-7405. And as you can see, her case number and the NamUs number is out there as well. Also, you guys need to know, you can contact NamUs. NamUs 2 is another place that you can contact if you guys have any tips out there. They will get that turned all over to law enforcement as well. So there's another way if you don't feel comfortable contacting law enforcement. Claire saying 2003. I believe it's 2003. I noticed that I had 2003 on there in 2023. I did update that. I will get that reposted. That was a type error on mine, but that's what I came up with. But I will double check it, Claire. I will look at hers again just to make sure. This next case, I have shared Ryan's case a lot as well. This is the most updated flyer that I have done on Ryan Christopher Withy. He too is missing out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, April 4th of 2022. He was 36 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 38. 5'10", 165 pounds, sandy hair and blue eyes. He is known to have a goatee or a mustache. He does have that tattoo that you can see. And again, his tattoo is just so, it is bright. It would be very noticeable if you saw him wearing a t-shirt or a tank top, or he had a shirt off. I definitely want to tell people, if your loved one has tattoos or scars, please get that information out there. It could be very helpful. Someone that doesn't even know him may notice that tattoo. So his tattoo says, "The long, hard road of struggle and pain." So that is an actual picture of his tattoo. The two pictures that you see, he was last seen by an ex-roommate at the 3650 South 14th Street on April 4th of 2022 at 3:30 p.m. He had left on foot wearing a black fleece zip-up jacket, black jeans, a blue beanie, hat, and brown work boots. He was carrying a blue backpack and a white trash bag. So as you can see, those two pictures are actually pictures of him that day, I believe. And Ryan's mom, you can correct me if that's not wrong, but this is surveillance video of him. So Ryan's cell phone was found in an alley on 8th Street and Oklahoma Street on April 5th. So the next day, his cell phone was found in an alley. I'm not for sure. I mean, as you can see, 4th Street and 8th Street, you're looking at a little bit of, distant, but probably maybe not that far. Again, Ryan's mom can clarify me about how far that distance is from where he was last seen to where his cell phone. However, the exact location is unknown. His backpack, however, was found later that afternoon at the residence he was last seen on April 4th, leaning up against the house. How it got there, who placed it there, why was it placed there, that stuff right now is unknown. If you have any information regarding Ryan's disappearance or his whereabouts, please call the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department, District 1 at 414-933-4444. And just to let the family members know with these Milwaukee cases, now that this new email and everything has come up, I will try to get your guys' flyers updated as soon as possible with that information to help, hopefully get some more tips and everything in for your guys' loved ones out there. Okay, so I need to change the address on there. Okay, great. I was told that his cell phone was found at that they didn't give a specific, it was just kind of an area in an alleyway. Ryan's mom, if you want to reach out to me, or I can try to reach out to you too, maybe we could try to see if there's been some changes in this case or updates that we need to update his flyer a little bit more. Definitely, I want to make sure that anything is up to date on his case. You're saying his cell phone being found is new information? I've had that out for a long time. I believe that's in NamUs. I will get with you. Let me get with you on his case, but that information's been out there. And again, there's been a couple cases that law enforcement has put out information and did not share it with the family. But advocates have found that information out. So, which I think is most certainly unfortunate for the families. They should definitely be the first people notified with anything that they're putting out in the public, I feel, but that's my personal opinion. All right, but yes, Ryan's mom, I will definitely get with you. You can also reach out to me on Guardian or at Voice of the Missing on the page or Tatum Gray. Or I can if there's families out there in Milwaukee that have connection with Ryan and they have my information, please share that with Ryan's mom. This next case is Mark Randall Fullington. He's been missing for 4 years and 3 days. He went missing out of Bragdon, Missouri on June 3rd of 2020. He was 35 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 39, 5'11", 145 to 155 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. He does wear glasses and dentures. However, they were left behind. He had all of his teeth had been extracted, and recently, right before he disappeared, he had some major dental surgery done. He does have multiple tattoos, as you can see. These include Mark in Old English script on his stomach, above his belly button, full arm sleeves on both of his arms that were a skull-themed design. He has Aiden and Kate across his upper chest, just below the collarbone, and others. He does have his ears pierced/gauged in both ears. Mark had recently had dental work done and was recovering the night of his disappearance. It is reported by his girlfriend at the time that he was vomiting and sick as a dog, and he unexpectedly walked away from the home while she was in the bathroom. It is reported that she thought he might have headed to his grandfather's house that was about 2 miles away. However, he had never arrived there. He has never been seen or heard from again. He was last seen wearing a black shorts with no shirt or shoes. He left behind his truck, wallet, keys, dentures, glasses, jewelry. As you can see in those pictures, those rings that he's wearing that are kind of skull rings. I will try to get more closer, better photos of those if I can find them. And he left behind all of his belongings at the house. It is reported that his cross necklace, when law enforcement had went in, which he never removed this necklace that he wears all the time, was found broken on the floor in his girlfriend's home. Prior to his disappearance, he had said that he had planned to end his relationship with her, and it is definitely uncharacteristic for him not to have contact with loved ones. Foul play is suspected in this case. There is a $20,000 reward being offered. If you have any information regarding Mark's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Prescott County, Missouri Sheriff's Office at 573-333-4101. His case, definitely foul play is suspected in his case. Yeah, that is true. Milwaukee is just a place that I just really don't understand. I don't understand why there's not more media coverage on those cases. I don't understand why there's basically one officer working their cases. It doesn't make no sense. Um, yes, his loved ones are very, very much looking for him. And the girlfriend is very suspicious. Yeah, absolutely. There is some information that I want to wait and hold off on his case to reveal. It is kind of out there, but I just kind of want to make sure that it is okay to share it. But I know it's out there. I just want to make sure. But his case, it definitely is very, very, very suspicious. This next case I share all the time is Rebecca Demery. She's missing out of Odessa, Texas on March 1st of 2023. 32 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 33, 5'5", 190 pounds, brown hair and hazel eyes. She does wear glasses and has a mole on the left side of her neck. She always wears that gold cross necklace, which is a one of a kind. Nobody else should have that necklace that she wears. She does have both of her ears pierced, but she doesn't normally wear earrings. She does have her tongue pierced, though. She does have a history of seizures and had recently had one when she was at the hospital. She does have a tattoo of a flower on her left arm, as you can see that picture of a flower, and a heart design on her right arm. She does go by the name Becca. Becca had contact with her loved ones, I will tell you, on a daily basis, not only once a day, but several times a day. She last spoke to them on the phone on February 28th of 2023 when she called to see if she could get a ride from the hospital. Her loved ones, however, were out of town and they were not able to pick her up, but she was seen leaving the hospital with someone. Becca's loved ones did text her that next day on March 1st, 2023. However, they never have seen a response for her. There's been no activity on social media. She's never been seen or heard from again. However, that night she was last seen wearing that long sleeve gray shirt with the plaited hem, black pants, and gray shoes with the white soles that you see pictured there. She was carrying that black and teal backpack that you see, and she was last seen at 3:50 a.m. in Southeast Odessa. The thing that you have to know about Becca's story is Becca was not known. She did not know people in the Odessa area. There were people saying that her grandfather lived there. That's not true. I will tell you that foul play is highly suspected in her case. Highly suspected. However, at this time, law enforcement is keeping a lot of her case very, very close to their shield in her case. But I will tell you, out of a lot of cases, her case has definitely been working on with law enforcement. I know there's a lot of frustration with law enforcement in a lot of cases, but one thing that I can say that in Rebecca's case, the detectives and stuff in organizations that are working in her case have been doing an amazing, amazing job. If anybody, again, you could be anonymous. If anybody has a tip on Rebecca's case, please come forward and call the Odessa, Texas Police Department at 432-335-4609. Again, her case is being worked on very, very heavily by law enforcement. And her family is definitely keeping them out there. This next case is Donnell White Jr. He's 30. He's been missing for 32 years, 10 months. He went missing out of Ashtabula, Ohio, August 10th of 1991. He was 14 years old at the time of his disappearance. He's now 47. As you can see, there's a picture of him. This is like really the only picture that so far I have found amongst even other advocates that sometimes I, have done great data research and stuff. This is an age progression photo of him as well. So he may wear glasses. His nickname was Junior or Woodrow. He may use the date of birth, December 28th of 1976. Donnell's case is not clear on where he went missing. His parents were divorced at the time, and he was living with his mother, and that was staying at his grandmother's house in the 900 block of West 38th Street at the time. It is reported that he had been raised on the Cleveland's east side in or around Warrensville Heights in North Randall. It was first reported that he went missing after he went on a fishing trip with a Hispanic name known by the name Chicago in the neighborhood. However, his mother stated that he had come back and went out to play basketball at a nearby court after he had ate dinner. He's never been seen or heard from again. His mother moved to California after his disappearance, but his case was reopened in 2012 at the request of his father, who still lived in that area. According to law enforcement, one of the issues that has impended on that investigation was the only photo of him from the few years prior, which isn't the best likeness of him at the time of his disappearance. So the picture that law enforcement has and we have out there to share, this is a younger picture of him prior to him going missing at the age 14. And law enforcement just feels that there's another picture out there that is closer to his age at 14. It might have been more helpful on his case of someone recognizing him or knowing something about his case. There is a $5,000 reward out there for information. If anybody has any information regarding Donnell's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Ashtabula, Ohio Police Department at 440-992-7172. Look at these questions. So again, kind of clarifying his story. His story is confusing. It's confusing because the stories have changed. You know, it was he went to a fishing trip, it didn't come back. Then it was he came home, ate, went and played basketball, never came back from playing basketball. So yeah, again, like a lot of the stories and cases that we go over and see, stories change, stuff isn't clear, it's unknown why people are withholding information, changing information. And again, when someone goes missing, it's such an emotional time for the loved ones. And I want the loved ones to know, no one expects you to know every little detail perfectly when you're given that report. Know that if you make a report, that later on, if something comes up and you think, oh, I didn't add that, I didn't tell the officer that, that's okay. Just reach out to them. I always tell my families, get an email address where you can send information really well, pictures, tips, screenshots, anything like that. But it also is easier. The detectives that I have worked with and talked to, they said sometimes email is a little bit easier for them to communicate because they might be able to slip an email in real quick versus being able to have time to pick up the phone because they may be busy working on other cases or working on your case or out there in the field, dealing with something. So I know a lot of the detectives like email interaction. So definitely do that. All right, this next case. Give me one moment. Okay. I am going to get to Brenda Sicca. Let me just check this real quick. Well, who gave the story? Well, yeah, there's that too. I agree. I agree, Claire. I agree. This next case I want to definitely share. I have shared Brenda Sue Sicca before. She has been missing for 6 years and 11 months, guys. It is coming around on the 7-year anniversary on July 1st, 2017, that she did go missing there out of Huntsville, Alabama. So she was 43 years at the time of her disappearance. She's now 50. 5 foot tall, inches tall, or 5 foot tall, 100 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. Now, her hair was long with bangs at the time of her disappearance. She does have both of her ears pierced. and she does suffer from severe anxiety and depression. As you can see, there's some pictures of her tattoos there that I have also on her flyer. She has the on her a panther on her outer left thigh, a female on her outer right thigh, a moon on her left shoulder, a sun on her right shoulder, and a cross on the back of her neck. Brenda is a veteran and had almost completed her master's degree. However, she had been struggling with depressions and substance abuse. She had moved from Florida to Huntsville, Alabama, working on to make changes in her life. She was working as a bartender and had been in a relationship with a married man named Jim. It is reported that she suddenly moved out of her apartment at the Overlook on Sparkman Drive in July, which was reportedly paid by Jim. There is no proof of anyone helping her move, despite she had very large, heavy furniture. Her family started getting emails from her saying that she was in Wyoming and was looking forward to seeing them in January. However, the email address used is unknown to anyone and has never been proven that she was in Wyoming. Her dog, who had cancer, is missing as well. It is unknown what she was wearing at the time of her disappearance. However, she does usually wear jeans and rock band logos like Metallica or Iron Maiden. If you have any information regarding Brenda's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Huntsville, Alabama Police Department at 256-427-5476. There is a $10,000 reward for anybody that can come forward with information leading to her whereabouts. I agree, Claire. It sounds very sketchy. I saw a story like this on Disappeared, and the boyfriend was the one emailing. Yeah, it's unknown, and that too, you guys, is something that you have to look into. The internet, you don't know who you're talking to. If someone did get access and hold, there are multiple cases where people have been the reason someone went missing, but they continue to like mail letters, acting like they're the person that's missing, emails, text messages, anything like that. It happens in so many cases. To lead investigators somewhere else, to cause harm to the family or whatever their reasoning is. It again does not make no sense. I guess it makes sense to them. But to put families through what some of these families are going through, it's just absolutely horrendous. So yeah, it is unknown in her case, and in a lot of these cases, who was contacting, who was sending emails, were they really in that location or something. But again, in Brenda's case, somebody knows something. It's not like her to disappear. It makes no sense. And her dog's missing too. Brenda is another one of those cases. There's multiple cases where dogs are missing with them. Like, where's the dog? If he had cancer and stuff, he would go to a vet. So again, anybody, please share Brenda's flyer out there. Please help this family find her. I just have a few more cases, guys. I know I'm going over an hour. So this next case is Madeline Kelly Edmond. She has been missing for 20 years, 11 months, missing out of La Cruz, Wisconsin. On July 29th of 2005, she was 15 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's now 34. 5'4", 100 pounds, brown hair, and she has her left eye is brown, her right eye is blue. Again, a very, very unique description of her. She has a scar on her right thigh, a mark below her navel. She has a tattoo with the letters or initials TC on her right ankle, a cross on her right arm, and a heart on her left hip. She may use the last name Acevedo. Madeline and her mother had went to the laundromat on St. James and Caldona streets. It is reported that she had left to go home while her mother stayed behind to finish the laundry. When her mother returned home, she was gone. Several agencies had classified her as a runaway and may have stayed in the local area after her disappearance. However, she may also be a victim of human trafficking or murder. She has never been seen or heard from again. Her mother has passed away, unfortunately, in 2010, not knowing what happened to her daughter, Madeline. If you have any information regarding Madeline's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the La Cruz County, Wisconsin County Sheriff's Office at 608-785-5942. This next case, again, is another one out of Wisconsin. Michael Matthew Wyatt. He's missing for 6 years, 364 days. Tomorrow is the 7-year anniversary of Michael disappearing there out of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. He was 41 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 48, 6 foot tall, 235 pounds, brown hair, and blue eyes. He did have a beard at the time. He has a scar above his left eye and a mole on the left side of his nose and at the edge of his nostril. He does wear glasses. He does have a tattoo of cartoon characters Tom and Jerry on his right calf. He may go by the name Mike or use the name John Wyatt Tucker. Michael was last seen at his home before he was supposed to go to work in Illinois by his wife on June 7th of 2017, but he never arrived. However, later that day, his wallet, cell phone, and keys were found at his home, as well as his vehicle was found in the driveway. It is reported that it is unknown who left his vehicle there. In November of 2017, an extensive search was conducted in nearby area of a natural wildlife area near 47th Avenue and 128th Street that he was known to frequent. The cadaver dog did indicate a hit at the body of water, which was drained, but there was nothing that was found, and the search was called off. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin Police Department at 262-694-7353. Again, another really super strange case. This one, someone asked me to do a few weeks back. I finally got to it. She's got a lot of stuff in her case. This is Maura Murray. She's been missing for 20 years and 4 months out of Amherst, Massachusetts on February 9th, 2004. She was 21 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is 42 years old now. 5'7", 120 pounds, brown hair, and green eyes. She does have a scar on her right calf and dimples on both of her cheeks. They do say she was last known to possibly be wearing dark colored coat and jeans with a backpack. She was involved in a one-car accident on Route 112 in Woodsville section of Haverhill in northern New Hampshire between 7 and 7:30 p.m. on February 9th in a black 1996 Saturn with Massachusetts license plates. It had been reported that that vehicle had failed negotiating a sharp turn and had went off the road, striking a tree. Haverhill is located 5 miles away from Wells River, Vermont, and 1 mile away from Swiftwater Village by the Connecticut River. This was the second car accident that she had been in within 3 days. She had previously damaged her father's vehicle. It is reported that the resident near the accident called the police, even though she had asked them not to. By the time law enforcement had arrived, 10 minutes later, she was gone. Her car was left behind with severe damage in the front end and was not in a drivable condition. The doors were locked, and she did leave behind a few belongings. However, her cell phone and credit bank cards were missing. There were no footprints to indicate any struggle, and the tracker dogs lost her scent within 100 yards. The resident that had reported to the police that she did not appear to be injured, but may have been intoxicated. 4 days prior to her disappearance, it is reported that she had left her job early due to appearing to be extremely upset and unable to work. Also, that she had emailed her professors the day of her disappearance and said that there was a death in the family, which there had not been no death in the family. All of her belongings in her dorm room were packed up, and she had withdrew $280 from her bank account. However, there has been no financial activity on any of her accounts since. She had left behind a note for her fiance at the time, who was stationed in Fort Still, Oklahoma. Law enforcement inspected her computer and discovered that she had been searching out information on hotels in the Burlington, Vermont area. However, nothing has turned up on her whereabouts. Loved one said it is very uncharacteristic for her not to have contact, and at the time, no issues with family or her fiance at the time, and no history of mental illness. Her fiance said that she had emailed him in the afternoon of her disappearance, wanting to speak to him. When he called, he could only hear breathing on the line, and the call could not be traced. If you have any information regarding Maura's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the New Hampshire State Police at 603-223-3856. Her case is definitely interesting. Has a lot of twists and turns in it. A lot of twists and turns. Okay, guys, I am going to share some of these comments and stuff. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there. I'm going to hold off on the last 3 or 4 because I don't want to keep you guys all night. But I will get them on next week. I do apologize. I've been very busy the last couple weeks working on some stuff. So can't find the dog. I called thousands of vets to see if she took, very, very crazy. You are most welcome, Carrie. Anything that I can do for any of you guys. The question was, did Brenda have children? Family is saying she had no kids. I do not know where it is at. I will look more into that, Claire. I'm trying to learn all the states. I'm learning that there are so many different towns, so many same name towns of everything out there. You've never heard of that case? Yeah. I like you guys said, I started Guardian to put out cases that are not getting recognition. Cases that people don't hear about, families that have been looking, for missing loved ones, anything out there. So definitely, any cases that you guys know about that you don't really see coverage. Unfortunately, like in the one case, a lot of these cases that are older, their family have passed on, never knowing. And I want to keep it out there, because you just never know what we can find. I want to tell you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you, all the advocates that are out there, any of the advocates that are on tonight, please put your information under the comments for these families, to show them the platforms that they can share on. So it's La Crosse. Okay, so La Crosse. Thank you, Claire. Claire lives in Wisconsin, so she knows all these names. I just want to tell the families, thank you so much for trusting, sharing your loved ones' stories with me, and allowing other advocates as myself to get this information out there. I know it takes a lot of strength, a lot of trust, in a lot of these cases to share that information. I will let you guys know I do keep a lot of information very close because I'm very much about protecting the cases. I never want to harm a case. I never want to harm a family, a missing loved one, anything. So families do know a lot of times more information, but people have to understand in these cases, law enforcement can't give everything out. Families can't give everything out because of the people that are involved, the complexity of these cases. If unfortunately there is foul play, you have to protect integrity of cases. And that is definitely something that I hold in very high regards. I'm very much protective over the safety of these families. I don't give out their information. I don't give out information where, who family members are, because I don't want them to be harassed or anything like that. So you're very, very, very much welcome. Okay. Yeah. Some people say sometimes they don't get notifications. I don't know. Facebook's frustrating sometimes. So Definitely, you guys always feel that you can reach out to me. I'm always here to listen. I'm always here to talk to you guys, to see if we can dredge up a different way to look at something. But again, thank you very much for the families. You know, I pray for you guys every day that something will come about in your guys' cases. Please don't give up hope. You know, I know it's very, very hard on you guys. Again, several family members that are on my platform that are here, believe me, they are rallying with you, supporting each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys have a blessed night. Thank you for sticking it out with me tonight. I know I ran a little late, but I definitely wanted to get these cases on. Again, God bless. I will continue to play for you guys. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys next week.